Welcome to Astralis Academy, a college of the stars, where the oldest questions of the sky are taught by women from every horizon, and by guests from beyond it. I am Professor Priya, and today we cross the sea of tradition into Jyotish, Vedic astrology, the science of light. Where the western sky follows the seasons, the eastern sky is fixed to the stars themselves. A zodiac that does not drift, a moon of 27 mansions, and a precise timetable of the soul's becoming. Jyotish is one of the oldest continuous sciences of the sky on Earth. Students of Astralis, we are going to India of the mind, and of the stars. Before we begin, the faculty frame the inquiry. I am Dr. Li Wei. Jyotish reads the soul's curriculum, the chart is the syllabus, and the life is the study. Professor Sophia adds that the fixed stars are the eastern horizon. Vedic astrology measures the sky as it actually appears. I, Priya, teach that Jyotish is a science of karma and light. The light shows, and the karma teaches. Our guest Nova 9 observes that you measure the sky by the stars, not the seasons. We do the same. The panel agrees. The eastern sky is not a different sky. It is the same sky, read with an older, deeper eye. Before we begin, the faculty frame the inquiry. I am Dr. Li Wei. Jyotish reads the soul's curriculum, the chart is the syllabus, and the life is the study. Professor Sophia adds that the fixed stars are the eastern horizon. Vedic astrology measures the sky as it actually appears. I, Priya, teach that Jyotish is a science of karma and light. The light shows, and the karma teaches. Our guest Nova 9 observes that you measure the sky by the stars, not the seasons. We do the same. The panel agrees. The eastern sky is not a different sky. It is the same sky, read with an older, deeper eye. Jyotish is among the oldest continuous astrological traditions on Earth. The word itself means the science of light, Jyoti, light, and Isha, science. And the tradition is one of the 6 Vedangas, the limbs of the Veda, the sacred knowledge of ancient India. Its roots reach into the Rig Veda, more than 3,000 years old, and it has been passed from teacher to student in an unbroken chain ever since. Through the courts of kings, the monasteries of scholars, and the homes of ordinary families. Where the Western tradition was broken and rebuilt, Jyotish never stopped. It is a living river, not a reconstructed ruin. The moon is the sovereign of the eastern sky, and its path is divided into 27 nakshatras, the lunar mansions. Each nakshatra is a starry house with a deity, a symbol, and a story. Ashwini, the horse-headed healers. Rahini, the red star of creation. Maja, the throne of the ancestors. And on through 27 stations to Revati, the journey's end. The nakshatra the moon occupies at birth is the soul's signature, the deepest layer of the chart, the one the dashas will follow. The faculty teach the nakshatras as the poetry of the eastern sky. Where the signs give the grammar, the mansions give the myth. The moon is the sovereign of the eastern sky, and its path is divided into 27 nakshatras, the lunar mansions. Each nakshatra is a starry house with a deity, a symbol, and a story. Ashwini, the horse-headed healers. Rahini, the red star of creation. Maja, the throne of the ancestors. And on through 27 stations to Revati, the journey's end. The nakshatra the moon occupies at birth is the soul's signature, the deepest layer of the chart, the one the dashas will follow. The faculty teach the nakshatras as the poetry of the eastern sky. Where the signs give the grammar, the mansions give the myth. The eastern chart uses 12 houses and 9 grahas, the planets as beings who witness and shape a life. The 9 include Rahu and Ketu, the lunar nodes, the head and tail of the celestial dragon, which the West has only recently rediscovered as points of fate. The first house is the self, the body, the rising sign. The 10th is karma itself, career, public path, the work the soul came to do. And each graha is a being with qualities and stories. The sun is the king, the moon is the queen, Saturn is the servant who becomes the master. The chart is a court, and the life is the reign. The Jyotish circle meets in the temple room, a candlelit hall of brass lamps, marigold garlands, and a great wall chart of the 27 nakshatras. Members practice dasha timeline readings, casting a life's periods, then reading the years against the chart. The club's ritual is the nakshatra of the week. Each week, one member brings the story and deity of a mansion, and the circle learns it together. Their field work is real service, reading charts for the South Asian community in the city, honoring the tradition's living roots. The club's rule is the tradition's rule. Jyotish serves dharma, right action, never fear. The faculty turn to the philosophy of karma. What does the eastern sky owe the Western student, and what must it refuse? Dr. Li Wei observes that karma is not a Western concept, and the Western reader must honor its depth or not use the word. Professor Priya insists that the tradition must not be flattened into a commodity. Jyotish is a living practice with teachers, ethics, and lineages. And I, Sophia, teach that the West must read the East as the East reads itself, not as an exotic mirror. Nova 9 shimmers. The light you measure is one light, but there are many eyes, and each eye is sacred. A student in her Saturn dasha comes to the faculty, worried. Saturn rules her 7th house, and her marriage has been difficult. The faculty read the dasha with care. Saturn's period is not a punishment. It is a course in patience, structure, and depth. The 7th house Saturn tests the bond so that the bond can be built on rock, not sand. The teaching is the tradition's teaching. The difficult dasha is the teacher, not the enemy. By the dasha's end, her marriage had deepened, her patience had grown, and her work had found its discipline. The course was hard, the fruit was real. Jyotish is famous for its remedies, mantras, gems, charities, rituals, and the college teaches them with rigor. Remedies are acts of alignment, not magic. A mantra is a discipline of attention, repeated daily. It trains the mind toward the planet's lesson. A gem is a reminder of the planet's quality, worn to keep the teaching present. And charity is the highest remedy, action, not symbol. The best way to honor a difficult Saturn is to serve those whom Saturn burdens. The faculty teach that the remedy is not a bribe to the sky, it is a change in the person. The sky does not need appeasing, the soul needs aligning. The faculty teach the ethics of the eastern sky with particular care, because karma is a powerful word. Never use karma to blame or shame. The chart is not a verdict on worth. Never read the dasha as a sentence. The periods are courses, not punishments. The chart is a curriculum, the soul's lessons for this life, and the reader serves the student's freedom, not her fear. The deepest ethic of Jyotish is dharma, right action, in the reading and in the life. The sky must not frighten, it must illuminate. The light of Jyotish is for seeing, not for burning. The Jyotish Circle and the Tech Guild have joined forces to build an artificial intelligence that computes the dasha system. Feed it a birth time, and it casts the full Vimshatari periods, the nakshatras, and the transits of the grahas, in seconds. It can map the years of a life against the planet's themes, and it is learning the tone of the traditional reading. But the honest limit is clear, it cannot weigh the karma. It can compute the timetable, but it cannot see the soul. The faculty teach that the future is not machines replacing the tradition, it is machines as instruments, and human witnesses as the heart of the reading. And so we close this lecture on the science of light. The Jyotish Circle meets Wednesdays in the temple room. Bring a chart, a question, and an open heart. Astralis Academy is a college of the stars, women-led and cosmos-wide. Next lecture: Fixed Stars, the Ancient Lights, and the Heaven's Oldest Voices. Until then, students, Jyotish is the science of light, and you are the light it studies. I am Professor Priya. May your light be clear, and your dharma be true. Let us deepen the system. The faculty teach that the Eastern reading begins with the three great pillars: the Lagna, the Moon, and the Sun. The Lagna, the rising sign, is the self, the body, the stage of the life. The Moon is the mind, the feeling self, the soul's immediate weather. And the Sun is the soul itself, the Atman, the deepest light of the being. Where the Western chart begins with the Sun, the Eastern chart often begins with the Moon and the Lagna, because the mind and the body are where the soul's karma is lived. The three pillars are the first reading, the stage, the weather, and the light. The houses of the Eastern chart carry the karma of the life. The first house, the self and the body. The second, wealth, speech, family. The fourth, home, mother, the heart. The seventh, partnership, the spouse, the other. The 10th, karma, career, the public path. And the 12th, loss, release, the beyond. The faculty teach the houses as the fields of karma. Each house is a field where the soul's lessons are sown and reaped. The strongest houses, the angles, the kendras, are the pillars of the life. The trines, the trikonas, are the houses of fortune. The chart is a field, the grahas are the farmers, the life is the harvest. The planetary friendships are one of Jyotish's most distinctive teachings. Each graha has natural friends, enemies, and neutrals. The sun and the moon are friends. Saturn is the enemy of the sun. Jupiter is the friend of all. The friendships shape how the planets behave in the chart. A planet in the sign of a friend is comfortable. In the sign of an enemy, it struggles. The faculty teach the friendships as the social grammar of the sky. The chart is a court, and the planets are courtiers with alliances and rivalries. The reading weighs the friendships as carefully as the positions, because in a court, relationships are fate. The students ask the faculty the question every tradition must answer. Is the Eastern chart fate, or is it freedom? The answer is the heart of the Jyotish teaching. The chart is the karma brought into this life. The lessons chosen, the tendencies inherited, the field prepared. But karma is not fate, it is momentum, and momentum can be met. The tradition teaches that free will lives in the present. The chart shows the field, and the person chooses the crop. Remedies are the proof. If the chart were fate, no remedy would matter. The faculty teach that the Eastern sky is not a cage, it is a curriculum, and the student is the author of the study. The faculty teach the art of the difficult chart with the tradition's own wisdom. The hardest placements are the greatest teachers. A debilitated planet is not a curse, it is a course. The planet's lesson must be learned the hard way, and the learning is deep. Saturn in the 8th house is a course in transformation through difficulty. Rahu in the 12th is a course in desire and its release. The Eastern reader does not flinch from the difficult. She names the course, honors the difficulty, and asks the person what the lesson is teaching. The tradition's favorite saying, the grahas are not judges, they are teachers. And the hardest teachers give the deepest gifts. A striking case in the college archives. A musician with a powerful Venus, the planet of art, in her 10th house of karma, but in the dasha of Saturn. For years her art was blocked, no recognition, constant delay. The faculty read the case with the dasha system. Saturn's period was testing her Venus, demanding that her art be built on discipline, not desire. She practiced through the blockage, honed her craft, and refused to stop. When Venus's own dasha began, her work flowered, recordings, performances, recognition. The chart had not been wrong, the timing had been the teaching. The dasha was the course, the art was the fruit. The Jyotish circle's favorite debate: can the Western student truly practice Jyotish? Some members argue that the tradition belongs to its lineage and must be learned from its teachers. Others hold that the light is universal, and the student who honors the source may carry the lamp. The faculty's answer is nuanced. Learn from the tradition's own teachers, honor its roots, and never claim more than you have received. The circle's practice is humble. They study the texts, learn the Sanskrit terms, and invite elders of the tradition to teach. The debate continues, and the debate itself is the lesson. The light is one, the lamps are many. The postmodern panel returns to the deepest question. What does it mean for a women-led college in the West to teach a tradition born in ancient India? Dr. Li Wei observes that the college must be a guest, not a colonizer. The tradition is not our property, and its teachers are its authority. Professor Priya adds that the college's own students of Indian heritage carry the tradition's living memory, and they must be honored as its voice. And I, Sophia, teach that the meeting of traditions is itself a sacred event. the East and the West can learn from each other if the learning is humble. Nova 9, shimmering. The light is one, and it belongs to all who honor it. The faculty teach the ethics of the remedial practice with particular care. When a student is frightened by her chart, a difficult dasha, a hard placement, the reader must speak with the tradition's own voice. The sky is a teacher, not a threat. The remedy is offered as a discipline, not a transaction. It does not buy good fortune, it aligns the soul. And the reader must never profit from fear. The promise of guaranteed results is the mark of the charlatan, not the teacher. The faculty's rule: read with the light on, and charge nothing for fear. The tradition's dignity is in its honesty, and its honesty is its power. The Tech Guild's AI Dasha engine has learned to read the transits of the grahas against the Dasha periods. It takes a chart and a date, and it writes the story of the planetary weather: Saturn's testing, Jupiter's expansion, Rahu's restlessness. The students test it against their own lives, and the results are instructive. The machine computes the periods perfectly, and it is often right about the themes. But it cannot know how the themes are being lived. The faculty teach that the engine is an instrument, not a pandit. It calculates the sky, and the human heart does the reading. The future is the collaboration, machine precision, human wisdom. The faculty reflect on the mystery at the heart of the science of light. Why should the sky at birth speak of the soul's karma? The honest answer: we do not know, and the tradition does not require us to know. Jyotish is a science of correlation, tested over millennia, refined by generations of careful reading. The mechanism is a mystery, the correlation is a fact of practice. Some teach that the sky is a mirror of the soul's state. The birth chart is the soul's own signature, written in light. Others hold that the correlation is a mystery we may never solve. The faculty hold both: the light is real, and the mystery is part of its beauty. The Jyotish Circle's graduation is held in the temple room, by lamplight. Each graduate receives a small brass lamp, the symbol of the tradition's name, engraved with her moon nakshatra. The ritual: each graduate lights her lamp from the central flame and speaks the name of her nakshatra's deity, honoring the mansion of her birth. The charge is spoken: carry the light with you, and remember, you are the light the science studies. The lamps are carried out into the night, a procession of small flames crossing the campus. The graduates leave with their lights burning, and the tradition's light burning in them. And so the lecture turns to its close, with a final teaching: the science of light is the science of the self. Jyotish gives its students a map of karma, a timetable of the soul, and a language of the sacred, but the map is nothing without the traveler. The dasha is a course, you are the student. The nakshatra is a story, you are the storyteller. The remedy is a discipline, you are the practitioner. The students are asked to name the light they will carry, and every answer is a flame. That is the truth the science serves, not prediction, but illumination. The sky is light, the soul is light, the study is light. This has been the Astralis Academy lecture on Vedic astrology, the science of light. We crossed into the sidereal sky, walked the 27 mansions of the moon, traced the dashas of the soul, and learned that the eastern sky is the same sky, read with an older, deeper eye. If you take one thing, let it be this: the light is one, and you are part of it. Astralis Academy welcomes you, women-led, multicultural, open to intelligences from every world. Join us Wednesdays in the temple room. May your light be clear, and your dharma be true. Namaste.